All right, let's jump right into this explainer. If your brain is just constantly buzzing, if you're endlessly busy but feel like you're getting absolutely nowhere, you are in exactly the right place. Today we're going to completely flip how you look at your time, productivity, and distractions. And no, we aren't looking at some trendy new app or life hack. We're actually going back over 2,000 years to one of the greatest minds in history, the Stoic philosopher Seneca. Because believe it or not, he cracked the code on the busyness epidemic millennia before the smartphone was even a blip on the radar.
I mean, we all feel it, right? Overwhelmed by hustle culture, endless notifications, constantly struggling to just concentrate, even after trying literally every productivity hack out there. Picture this. You sit down to work. You're determined. You block social media, set your Pomodoro timer, maybe you even toss your phone into the other room. But 5 minutes later, your mind drifts. You end up reading the exact same sentence 3 times. You're exhausted, stressed, and basically just going through the motions. We always think that if we just find the perfect app, we'll magically unlock our focus. But actually, we're asking the wrong question. The real question is, are you actually busy or are you just distracted?
Part 1. The busyness epidemic and the Roman paradigm shift. So it turns out this problem isn't new at all. Ancient philosophers diagnosed the exact root cause of this over 2,000 years ago. Now, the Greeks and Romans didn't have TikTok, obviously, but they had chaotic cities, endless social obligations, and, well, the exact same human brain that we do. We love to think our modern era invented being overwhelmed, but it's a timeless human condition. Thinkers like Plato, Socrates, and the Stoics realized that the real obstacle to a productive life isn't your external environment, it's how you approach living itself.
This completely shatters our modern assumptions. We love to blame our phones, right? The modern myth tells us that technology equals distraction, that if we just turn off push notifications, we'll magically find peace. But the Stoic truth is a total paradigm shift. Inner turmoil equals distraction. You could be sitting in a perfectly quiet, empty room, but if your mind is just racing with worries, doubts, and the pressure of a million unmade decisions, you are entirely distracted. The noise isn't around you, the noise is inside your head.
To really prove this, picture our stickman Seneca here. He's trying to study, but he's living directly above a chaotic Roman bathhouse. It is absolute bedlam down there. Imagine trying to write a philosophical masterpiece while right below your floorboards some guy's getting his armpits plucked and screaming at the top of his lungs. You've got sausage vendors hawking their wares, people doing literal cannonballs into the pool, and weightlifters just grunting away. It's basically the ancient equivalent of trying to work in the middle of a crowded, noisy subway station during rush hour.
But here's the genius part. Seneca realized that external noise only disturbs us if it resonates with our own unresolved emotional turmoil. In a letter to his buddy Lucilius, he wrote that he had trained his mind so well that all this racket meant no more to him than the sound of waves or falling water. No noise-canceling headphones required, just pure mental discipline. He hit the nail on the head when he asked, what benefit is a quiet neighborhood if our emotions are in an uproar? If your mind is burning with anxiety or fear, absolute silence won't bring you peace. Distraction is literally just your internal chaos looking for an excuse to avoid hard work.
Which brings us to Part 2, the shortness of life and how we waste it. This realization leads right into Seneca's brilliant take on how we mismanage our most precious resource, time. In his famous essay, he shifts gears from daily distractions to the ultimate distraction, wasting our entire existence. Think about it. We guard our money and stuff fiercely. Someone tries to steal your wallet, you fight back. But when people demand our time, which is our absolute least renewable commodity, we just hand it over lavishly, like it's totally worthless.
He passionately argued that human life is actually plenty long enough for our highest achievements, as long as we don't squander it on aimless busyness. Just let this quote sink in. We are not given a short life, but we make it short, and we are not ill-supplied, but wasteful of it. Life is long if you know how to use it, but instead we let it slip away. We spend hours binge-watching shows we don't even like, doom-scrolling, working jobs we hate to buy stuff we don't need. And then death arrives, and only then do we realize the life we were supposedly living passed away before we even noticed it.
So the crux of the issue is that we suffer from what's called existential procrastination. We treat our finite lives like we have this infinite supply of time, delaying real living until we're older. And this isn't just about putting off folding the laundry. Existential procrastination is putting off living. It's saying, oh, I'll travel when I retire, or I'll spend time with my kids when this huge project is over. We try to arrange things that are totally controlled by fortune and completely abandon what's actually in our control right now. We just assume tomorrow is guaranteed.
We mistakenly assume that just existing for a long time, collecting white hair and wrinkles, is the exact same thing as living a fulfilling life. Seneca uses this amazing metaphor. Imagine a guy sets sail, gets caught in a massive storm right outside the harbor, and just gets tossed around in circles by the wind for years. Did he have a long voyage? No, he just had a long tossing about. Rushing from one urgent task to the next for 80 years isn't living, it's just existing. We really need to ask ourselves, are we living wide, filling our days with depth, or are we just hoping to live long?
Part 3. Filtering modern distractions. Let's fast forward to the present day. Because, wow, if Seneca thought a Roman bathhouse was distracting, imagine him trying to navigate the internet. Today, our digital landscape is literally a commercial attention extraction engine. Social media platforms and news feeds are specifically designed to gin up outrage to keep us clicking. They intentionally exploit that inner turmoil we talked about earlier. When you catch yourself mindlessly scrolling, it's almost always because an algorithm successfully triggered an emotional agitation inside you. As Socrates wisely warned, being constantly busy is a dangerous trap. Beware the bareness of a busy life. Today, we wear busy like a total badge of honor. Someone asks how you're doing, and the default is, oh, so busy. But filling your life with meaningless tasks just to feel important leaves your life completely barren. Honestly, it's a way of hiding from yourself. It's way easier to fire off 50 emails and feel superficially productive than to sit quietly and ask if you're actually doing work that matters or living a life you're genuinely proud of.
So instead of chasing this empty busyness, the ancient Greeks believed we should be aiming for eudaimonia. This translates directly to true human flourishing and well-being. It's often mistranslated as just happiness, but it's not about a cheerful mood or a temporary feeling of pleasure. Eudaimonia is about fulfilling your absolute highest potential as a human being. It's nurturing your rational mind, practicing virtues like courage and justice, and striving for excellence. It is absolutely the ultimate antidote to the shallow busyness of our modern world.
This table breaks it down perfectly. True flourishing isn't about passive pleasures or gaining social media followers. Eudaimonia is definitely not overeating, chasing fame, or hoarding wealth. And it's for sure not a passive state where good things just magically happen to you. It is an activity. It's an active, lifelong practice of focus and reason. You're making deliberate choices every single day. You don't achieve human flourishing by accident, and you certainly don't achieve it while scrolling through rage bait. You get there through sustained, intentional practice.
Part 4. Reclaiming your time. Okay, so how do we actively cure this modern busyness epidemic using all this ancient wisdom? Because it's one thing to understand the philosophy, but it's a whole other beast to put it into practice when the world is constantly demanding your attention. We have to build a defensive filter to protect our cognitive sovereignty. If we want to be truly productive, not just busy, we've got to totally restructure how we interact with our tasks, our tech, and our own minds. Here are 3 highly practical steps to do just that. Ruthlessly eliminate the non-essential. Focus strictly on what you control, and live immediately. First, look at your life like a sculptor looking at a block of stone. Chip away everything that doesn't belong. Second, practice the Stoic dichotomy of control. Stop wasting emotional energy on market shifts, the news cycle, or what other people think of you. Focus only on your own actions. And third, live immediately. Stop waiting for the perfect moment to start your life.
Marcus Aurelius summed this up perfectly. If you seek tranquility, do less. Or, more accurately, do what's essential. Do less, better. Keep in mind, Marcus Aurelius was the emperor of Rome, arguably the most powerful man on the planet, dealing with wars, plagues, and massive political crises. If anyone could play the I'm too busy card, it was him. Yet his secret to staying sane was radical elimination. He constantly asked, is this necessary? And the truth is, most of what we do isn't. Cut it out. Do less, better.
Practically speaking, you need to audit your day. Try this tomorrow. Track exactly how you spend your time. I guarantee you'll find hours eaten up by busy work that brings zero value to your life. Automate or delete those tasks. Mute those toxic, outrage-generating digital feeds. Do not let an algorithm dictate your attention. And use Socratic questioning. When you feel the urge to procrastinate, ask yourself, wait, why? What am I actually avoiding right now? Prioritize the vital few things that matter for your flourishing and ignore the rest of the noise.
Now, if we pair this Stoic discipline with the ancient Chinese concept of Wu Wei, it's an absolute game changer. In the West, we're obsessed with brute force productivity. We think pushing through exhaustion and drinking 5 coffees is the only way to succeed. But that just leads to burnout. Wu Wei, which translates to effortless action, is about optimal effectiveness without the agonizing friction of forcing it.
When you eliminate that internal chaos, silence the digital noise, and align your daily actions with your true values, the work just flows. You literally stop fighting yourself.
So take a moment and really reflect on this. Are you intentionally living your days, or are you just letting the busy world dictate your existence? This busyness epidemic, it isn't going away on its own. The algorithms are only getting smarter, and the demands on your time are only going to increase. But you have the ultimate power to choose where your focus goes. Will you let the noise of the bathhouse dictate your peace, or will you master your own mind? Are you going to keep waiting for tomorrow, or are you going to start living immediately? Think about that, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.